Hey there everyone, this is Michael Dougal, the nootropic reviewer, and we're going to go ahead and compare two very popular nootropic supplements that help to boost mood and fight off stress, those being 5-HTP and L-Theanine. And these are supplements that I've been using on and off throughout the past decade, and I've spent the majority of the time off of them. That's because of the fact that they do have side effects, and I really wouldn't categorize these supplements as productivity boosters, because you can't really necessarily expect you to be more driven or more focused when you take the supplements. It's just that they make your mood a little bit calmer to make it easier for you to stay on schedule. So I would categorize these supplements around boosting your mood, helping you to be a little bit calmer during your workday. You do have to watch out because they can actually be demotivating for some individuals. So I'm happy to share the differences, and you're going to learn about my preferred nootropic supplement of the two at the end of the video. L-Theanine was discovered by Japanese scientists, and where it's most commonly going to be found is going to be contained in green tea. Although it's been said that you would need to drink about 5 to 8 cups of green tea to be equivalent to a 200 milligram serving size of L-Theanine. And 200 milligrams is the common serving size that you're going to see in most of the studies out there. And there's great research done on L-Theanine, and it's probably one of the most researched nootropic supplements out there that's fairly well tolerated, and you don't have to be too concerned about the side effects. Although recently, and especially within the past few years, we're seeing more and more studies about the cognitive benefits that are associated with L-Theanine, and this definitely makes it unique to 5-HTP. As 5-HTP, it's more around boosting your mood. With L-Theanine, you just don't know what you're going to get. Some individuals actually feel a lot sharper when they're using L-Theanine. We're also seeing that L-Theanine is a common pre-workout product ingredient, which I personally don't like because I find that combining L-Theanine with caffeine seems to calm the caffeine down a little bit. And prior to my workouts, if I'm going to consume caffeine, I need a kick. I don't mind it being aggressive, and I don't want to consume any L-Theanine to help to slow that down, even if it means that consuming the L-Theanine would prevent or decrease the caffeine crash there afterwards, because a lot of users report that that's why they use L-Theanine with their pre-workout. And what you can expect from consuming a serving size of between 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams of L-Theanine is within 30 minutes, you'll certainly feel calmer, you'll feel a little bit of peace of mind, you'll feel relaxed. I like to consider it wakeful relaxation because I do feel a little bit more alert when I use L-Theanine. That's me personally. Some individuals can get away with using L-Theanine before they sleep, and how you feel is like everything's good, everything's calm, and you're enjoying your work a little bit more. But what I dislike about it is that for me personally, it does seem to reduce my motivation to some extent. I'm a pretty ambitious guy, and I found that most of the supplements don't have any sort of like demotivating effects with me. Although when I use L-Theanine, it seems to bring my drive down just a little bit. And while L-Theanine and 5-HTP, they do both boost your mood significantly, they work in a very different way. The way 5-HTP works is by increasing levels of serotonin in the brain. And when you have more serotonin in your brain, it's more likely that you're going to be calmer. You'll be more resilient to stress. It'll reduce carbohydrates, which is an interesting benefit, and it will also improve your sleep quality. So by using a supplement like 5-HTP, you're basically getting like this shot of serotonin. And this doesn't necessarily sound like a good thing. In fact, it sounds a little bit concerning. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people actually stay away from 5-HTP. It's because of the fact that yes, it does boost your mood, but it seems like you're applying a band-aid to your problem, and you can find much healthier practices for boosting your mood, like meditating or taking a walk. And the way 5-HTP feels is pretty much within 20 minutes of ingestion, you'll feel a bit calmer. I wouldn't necessarily say that it boosts your mood like caffeine does. More so, it makes it difficult to think negatively. So what'll happen is during the day, you'll have a stressful experience or something disappointing will happen, like you'll get a flat tire. But when you're using 5-HTP, it makes it very difficult to think negative thoughts. And the first time I used 5-HTP, there wasn't much information about the compound online. I really wasn't too sure what I was taking. Although I couldn't help but realize every day I was taking it, I was in a much better mood. Although this effect doesn't last the whole day. Once you use 5-HTP, most people find that it wears off after about 3 hours. And I can say the same thing about L-Theanine. Like, it hits you fast, but it's pretty much out of your system, or you don't notice the benefits several hours afterwards. I'm somebody that's thankfully pretty sensitive to nootropic supplements, and I do like the fact that 5-HTP is far more consistent than L-Theanine. Like, it seems that sometimes I use L-Theanine, I'll have a great experience, whereas sometimes I'll use L-Theanine, I feel horrible. I can't get anything done. When I use 5-HTP though, I know what I'm going to get from it. And for that reason, I would prefer 5-HTP over L-Theanine, so I would say 5-HTP is better for me. You may disagree, but I wouldn't even give either of the supplements thumbs up. It's more like I would give 5-HTP like a mid thumb and L-Theanine a thumbs down, because with L-Theanine I just have more bad experiences than good ones. And I really dislike the fact that L-Theanine isn't all the great supplement blends out there these days, so I have to selectively choose the supplement blends that don't have L-Theanine. In terms of the practical application of both supplements, they really are both quite flexible. They can be taken in a fasted state, they can be taken in a fed state. You can take them before bed, you can also take them in the morning. You can consider taking them when you have a stressful experience. You can consider taking them before you have a very important task, when you know you're going to need your cognitive faculties working at 100%. So this is just going to be depending on you. you and what you're looking to achieve through either supplement. With 5-HTP, I'll often use it when I'm having a stimulant crash of some sort, or if I'm really hungry and I just need to calm my hunger down a little bit. With L-Theanine, I'll use it in the later portion of the day when I'm using some caffeine, but I know that caffeine, it does have some negative side effects, like it impairs your judgment to some extent, and then you're likely to get that caffeine crash. So let's say it's 2 or 3 p.m. I need to pick me up. I'll use some caffeine with L-Theanine. Again, this is very infrequently, maybe once or twice a week. And the serving sizes are pretty similar for both products. For me personally, I would use 100 milligrams of each of the supplements if I were to use them. And there's light research done on both compounds showing that if you are to use a supplement every single day, you'll see a cumulative benefit and you'll start to feel better and reap more benefits. Although this mechanism of action is still being studied, for me personally, I have found that if I were to use a supplement on consecutive days, I do build a little bit of a tolerance to it, which I don't personally like because I don't want to get to a stage when I'm using 200 milligrams of 5-HTP every single day. I want to remind you, this is a compound that increases levels of serotonin. We don't know how safe that could potentially be long-term. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of individuals actually avoid using 5-HTP. So with respect to the side effects of 5-HTP, I would say serotonin overdrive. Worst case scenario could be serotonin syndrome. And the couple other side effects to be mindful of, but they're very uncommon, would be anxiety as well as headaches. With headaches, I sometimes feel them with L-Theanine, but it's pretty rare. That's one of the reasons why you may be better off using the capsule form versus the powder. For whatever reason, when I ingest the powder form of L-Theanine, which I do have, I seem to get the headaches. When I use the capsule, I don't. And I'd love to know your thoughts about both of the compounds in the comment section below. Do subscribe if you found the video informative, and if you'd like to chat with me one-on-one, you can message me on Patreon, and be sure to visit our Discord server, which has a 24/7 chat room where we're having a whole lot of fun. I thank you for your support and look forward to seeing you next time.